Good evening, I'm Piers Morgan Uncensored. Some breaking news tonight, sad breaking news. Another unspeakable mass shooting in the United States. At least 6 people have been killed and 24 others hospitalized in an attack on a 4th of July parade in suburban Chicago. Police say the gunman is still at large and still considered armed and dangerous. He's described as a young white man, aged approximately 18 to 20, which sadly appears to fit the all-too-familiar profile now of these mass shooters in America. There are no further details yet on his motive, but police believe he opened fire from a store rooftop. Witnesses have described hearing a volley of shots in quick succession and seeing bloody bodies covered in blankets. Well, I'm joined now by eyewitness Miles Zaremski. Miles, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so sorry you've had to go through this. It must have been an absolutely horrific experience. Just if you could, tell me what you witnessed today.
It was gut-wrenching. And it was like out of a science fiction movie, but it was so real. It was a nice day in our suburb, Highland Park, which my wife and I have lived since 1976. I took a walk to the parade, as I usually do for 30-odd years, just to take in the sights. And I was about a half a block to 3/4 of a block away from the scene of the carnage, which was on Central Avenue, which was the main thoroughfare of our suburb, and the cross street was 2nd Avenue, 2nd Street. And at first I heard a pop, and then a second pop, so I thought it was the backfire of one of the vehicles that started off the parade, or maybe a firecracker, and then there were multiple pops. Pop, 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 pop. And I'd say there were 2 sets of pops, probably 15, 20 each, maybe 30 overall. And then all of a sudden, the crowd started rushing towards me or going west on Central Avenue. And they were just, it was like mass hysteria. And so I was not knocked down, but then I kind of gingerly walked forward and saw something I've never seen in my entire life, even having been in the service decades ago, of blood on the ground. Individuals with blood on them. I saw at least a couple that were in a pool of blood and not moving, as if they were deceased. And even I think I saw a young boy who was ashen in his parents' arms, as he was not moving either. It was just horrific. And what makes this doubly horrific, I guess, was that it was on July 4th, the day that we celebrate our country's founding. And Highland Park is a lovely, law-abiding community, a suburb of Chicago. We're not a troublemaker or rabble-rouser. And if it can happen in Highland Park, it can happen in any area within the country. And yes, of course, it's happened at churches and synagogues and schools and entertainment venues. It was just horrific, Piers.
Miles, it's such a graphic description of what you've been through, and you've really taken us to what happened. But you hit the nail on the head there. There have been so many mass shootings recently in America, horrific mass shootings. But for this to happen on July the 4th, for somebody to be on a rooftop of a store, deliberately targeting Americans as they celebrate their independence, it's a particularly heinous crime. What does it say to you, coming off the back of so many horror mass shootings? What does it tell you about the state of your country right now?
Well, I didn't want to get into politics, but obviously we need to do more in the United States as elsewhere. Look what happened in Copenhagen the other day.
Yeah.
To protect us from gun violence. And those that think they have a free reign on guns, which they don't. The Second Amendment in our country is not all encompassing. It's limited. Given my legal background, I know a little bit about that. But what does it say about the United States, indeed all over the world, is that people don't care about human life, and our politics in the United States are an example of what is going on. And those that don't want to protect us from guns just don't have the cojones, excuse my word, in passing appropriate legislation. But that's a political thing. but having seen it firsthand, God help us all.
Yeah. Miles, I'm so sorry again to you and to everybody caught up in there. My son's just got back from being at University of Chicago, so I know the city well. And it's
I was an adjunct lecturer there at the law school.
And it's a wonderful school. It's a wonderful city. It's been sadly ravaged by gun violence. But as you rightly say,
yeah.
You know, Highland is a very nice suburb of Chicago. It's not a gangland area or anything like it. And for this to happen there on this particular day is an appalling crime. Miles, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Piers. Best. Bye-bye.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Well, I wanted to celebrate over a few minutes today the 4th of July on behalf of my American friends. Obviously, it's a bittersweet day for we Brits because we got kicked out of the country. But America won its independence, and they come together on this day, usually every year, to celebrate together, of all political persuasions. But it doesn't feel like that today, does it? This latest mass shooting, another horrific event, in a way horribly exemplifies so much of the hatred and tribalism in the US right now. It's a country that I love. I love the people. I love the country. But where's the national unity? Where is the United States? It looks to me more disunited than ever.